Good morning, children. I hope that everybody are staying fit at your home, right? So coming to the study materials, I guess that everybody is receiving those study materials in a proper sequence and you are keeping it separately in a folder for your future reference. And regarding the query, please let me know if you're having any problem with any of the chapters, any part of it. I will come back to you surely according to the requirements. Okay, so we'll start with our online lesson for today. So in the last class, we have studied about the different types of fiber, right? The natural as well as the synthetic fibers. And as I have mentioned that in this lesson, you have two natural fibers such as wool and silk. So in the last lesson, we have studied different types of wool and the process of rearing of the wool, right? So today we will start on with the next part of our chapter. So firstly we'll start on with processing fibers into wool. So how are these fibers changed into wool? So here from this flow chart you can see that there are several steps through which this process has been taking place. What are those? Shearing, scouring, sorting, removing bark, dyeing and making yarn. So these are the different steps through which the wool is being formed. So firstly shearing. So in this step what happens? The wool is being removed from the sheep, right? We have read that different types of sheep are present for the processing of different types of wool. So in this process of shearing, the removal of the wool is being taking place, right? So how is this removal done? It can be done manually, that means with hand with the help of a large razor, or it is done with the help of a shearing machine. And this shearing process is specifically done in the hot season. Why hot season? Because we know that the wool which is being present on the sheep, of the body of the sheep, this wool is being important for protecting the sheep during winter season, right? So this is being done during the hot season so that the sheep is anyway not hampered. And next is that we also need to take care that the sheep is not being hurt anyway while doing this process of shearing. So the uppermost layer of the skin is being removed in this process of shearing. Next, the next step is scouring. In this process what happens? The sheared hair, the hair which is being removed is being thoroughly washed in tanks to remove the different types of impurities, right? The impurities can include dust, dirt and as well as grease. Okay, so after this process of washing is being done, then it is passed on through series of rollers and dryers so that it is being dried out. So this is about the process of scouring. Third step is sorting. In this process what happens? The clean hairs which are being obtained, they are being sent to the factory. Why? Because in this factory we know that different types of hairs can be present, so they need to be separated out. So they are being sent to the factory so that these hairs of different textures, they are being separated or sorted out, and this particular process is called as sorting. Next, step number 4 is removing bark. What is that? So this bar are the soft fluffy fibers which is present in the wools, the soft ones. Okay, so this bars, they are being picked out from the hair specifically. This is step number 4. Step number 5 is what? Step number 5 is dyeing. In this one what happens? Normally we know that the natural fleece is what? White, brown or black in color. So these fibers, they are being dyed into different colors of the choice. Okay. And next one is step number 6, that is making yarn. So in this step what happens? The wool which is being present now, the dyed wool, it is being straightened, combed and spun into yarn. That means it is being ultimately modified out. And after the spinning process, the wool is either woven or knitted. And ultimately the winter garments, that is for example the sweaters, are being formed. So in this processes what you have learned? We have learned several steps. Right, 6 steps we have learned. Shearing is the process in which what happens? The removal of the wool is being done from the sheep. Scouring, it is being washing which is being done. Sorting, so what happens? Different textures of the fibers, they are being separated out. Removing bark, that means what? The bark, the soft fluffy ones, they are being removed out. Dyeing, that means what? They are being colored into specific ones. And making yarn means ultimately they are being knitted into garments. So this is how the fibers are being processed and the wool is being done into sweater or the winter garments. So next one, we'll move on to another natural fiber, that is silk. So silk is also a animal fiber, right? So this silk, it is what? Firstly, it is a fine, strong, soft, shining fiber produced by silkworm in making their cocoons. Cocoons is what? That's something that covers or protects some insects while they grow, right? We will come to that point while we move at the life cycle of a silk moth. So the silk is what? It is a fine, strong, soft and shining fiber. So these are the different characters of this silk fiber, right? And they're being produced from what? Produced by the silkworms. Okay, so this silk is a naturally lustrous fiber. Lustrous fiber means what? It is, I have mentioned just now, it is shining in nature. So this lustrous what means? It is shiny appearance. Okay, next one, the rearing of the silkworm for obtaining silk is called sericulture or silk farming. So what is that? So whenever the silkworms are being present, I have mentioned last class about the process of rearing of the wools. So similarly, the process of rearing of the silkworm is also taking place, right? So this rearing means what? Taking care of the particular organism, right? So this silkworm, they are being reared or taken care of, and ultimately the silk is being formed. So this process altogether is referred to as sericulture. And this is a very old occupation in India, which is ultimately commercially applicable. So the silk thread which is being obtained from the cocoon of the silk moth. Next is, there are varieties of silk moths which yield different types of silk yarn. What are those? Tussar silk, Muga silk, Kosa silk, Mulberry silk. So these are the different types of silks which are being present from different silk moths. And what is the most common silk? It is the Mulberry silk. So hopefully this part is clear to everybody. Next, we'll move on to life cycle of a silk moth. So mainly if you consider, 4 stages are being present in the development of the silk moth. What are those? Egg, larva, pupa and adult. So these 4 stages are mainly present. We will see one by one. Stage number 1, egg stage. So what happens? Firstly, an adult female moth lays 300 to 500 pin-sized eggs. Right, pinhead size eggs. That means what? Pinhead size means it is very small in nature. Okay, next stage number 2, that is the larval stage. So in this stage what happens? The eggs, they are being transformed into moth larva. So they feast on large quantities of the mulberry leaves. So this larva, whenever it is being formed, they eat the mulberry leaves, and for the next 40 to 45 days what they do? They just eat those leaves and they grow. And while they grow, they need to accumulate their size also because they're increasing. So they need to space out their size. So what they do? They do the process of molting. Molting means what? They shed the outer part of the skin. So this is stage number 2. Stage number 3 has 2 sub-stages. One is cocoon stage, another one is pupa stage. In the first cocoon stage, what happens? Whenever the final mold of this larva are being done, then what happens? This larva are being named as caterpillars. So they spin a cocoon of silk threads around themselves. So there is one thread which is being spun around themselves. And next pupa stage, what happens? Inside this cocoon, the larva which is present, the caterpillar, it changes into pupa. And this transformation is what? It is between the larva and the adult. Okay, so after 14 to 18 days, what happens? Inside this cocoon, the pupa becomes ready to become an adult moth. So 14 to 18 days are required for the change of this pupa into an adult one. So up to this it is clear, I guess. Next we'll move on to the stage number 4, or the last stage, that is the adult stage and mating stage. So in this stage, firstly adult stage, what happens? The pupa, after 14 to 18 days, it is changes into an adult moth, and this moth then comes out of the cocoon and unwind the silk threads from the cocoon to weave into a silk cloth. So silk threads are being unwound and it is being changed into a silk cloth. And thereby what happens? The adult moth again starts looking for a mate, so that the female adult moths, they can again lay eggs and then continue the cycle again. Okay, so we'll see on to the life cycle once. So here if you see, here you will see, firstly the female moth, it lays the tiny eggs over here on the leaves, right? So these eggs which are being present, they are being ultimately grown into this larva and they eat the mulberry leaves over here. Okay, so this larva, they are referred to as a caterpillar now. So this caterpillar spins a cocoon of silk threads around itself. And inside the cocoon, the caterpillar changes into pupa. Okay. So this pupa, ultimately it unwind, they unwind the silk thread from the cocoons and they weave into a silk cloth and the changes into adult. Okay, so in this process, two steps are being taking place. One is unwinding the silk thread and another one is formation of the adult. Simultaneously, two processes are taking place. And ultimately, from this adult, they are being move on to the next process, that is mating. So this adult moths, they mate with each other and again lays eggs. So this life cycle, they continue, and this life cycle is happening. Why? To get the silk thread and the silk fiber, so that the silk cloths are being made. So I hope this part is clear to everybody. Next, we'll move on to the next part, that is production of silk. So this production of silk is taking place in 3 steps. What are those? Firstly, rearing of silkworms to obtain cocoon. Next is processing of cocoons to obtain silk fiber. And last is converting of silk fiber into silk cloth. So first, rearing of silkworms to obtain cocoon. In this process, what happens? Firstly, the female silk moths which are being present, they lay hundreds of eggs at a time. And these eggs, they are carefully stored on what? On a paper or a cloth strip, and ultimately sold to the silkworm farmers which are being present. Okay, so the eggs are being laid by the female moths. They're being stored carefully on what? Paper and cloth strips, and ultimately sold to the silkworm farmers. So what does this farmers do then? The farmers, they keep these eggs under the hygienic conditions or the suitable conditions of temperature and humidity, so that the eggs, they are being hatched. Okay, so whenever the suitable temperature conditions are being present, the eggs are hatched and ultimately they form the silkworms or the caterpillars and they come out. Okay, so the silkworms are fed on the mulberry leaves day and night, and they increase in size enormously. So they have a larger size. So this larva or the caterpillars which are being formed, they are kept in where? In the clean bamboo trays along with some freshly chopped mulberry leaves. Why mulberry leaves? Because they will feed on that. Okay. So after 25 to 30 days, it is seen that the silkworms, they stop eating and start spinning the cocoon. So we can easily say that 25 to 30 days are required for the larva to change into cocoon. Right? So next is processing cocoons to obtain silk fiber. In this step, what happens? The cocoons which are being collected, they are being boiled in water to kill the pupa inside. So what happens? Wherever the hot water is being given, then the silk fibers of this cocoon, they are being separated out easily. And this resulting fiber, they are called as raw silk. The process of taking out silk fibers from the cocoon for use as silk is called as reeling. So this is important. What is reeling? The process of taking out the silk fibers from this cocoon for the use of silk. How were the silk fibers taken out? I've mentioned because they are being placed in boiling water. So the silk fibers are being easily separated out, and that process is called as reeling. So how this reeling is done? This reeling is sometimes done as in special machines which unwind the fibers of silk and ultimately form the cocoons. So the converting of silk fibers into silk cloth, the last step. In this step, what happens? The silk fibers which are being unwinded from the cocoons, they're being spun into silk yarn and they're being woven into looms, and ultimately silk cloth is being made. So in this step, what happened? Production of silk, 3 steps were there. Firstly, rearing of the silkworms. In this one, the female silk moth, it lays hundreds of eggs, and these eggs, they're carefully stored on where? Paper and cloth strips, and under hygienic conditions, they are being hatched out. So these eggs ultimately transformed into caterpillars. Caterpillars were fed on the mulberry leaves, and ultimately they are being changed into cocoon. So these cocoons, they are being boiled in water. Why? To kill the pupa and to separate out the silk fiber. So this process is called as reeling, and the fiber is called as raw silk. And lastly, the silk fibers which are being obtained are spun to form the silk yarn, and ultimately the silk cloth is being made. So I hope that you all have understood this chapter quite well. So I'll be sending the exercise questions also in the coming week. So do solve those questions and write in your classwork copies and learn it. Okay, thank you so much.